This paper discusses and analyzes forms of sexual harassment online in Malaysia towards women aged range 13 to 49. In addition, it also observes the relationship between sexual misconduct and media that is affecting society in Malaysia and suggestions to reduce it. Blackmailing. Out of many sexual misconducts that are committed online, one of them is notoriously known as blackmail. Blackmailing includes a perpetrator and victims, where a perpetrator of blackmailing is someone who is withholding damaging information of their victim and coercing them to make an exchange of transactions to gain benefit, according to Fitzpatrick 1998. A specific name for a few extortions or threats that have been made without physical contact are called ransomware and sextortion. Ransomware is the same as common extortion, only it is made online, and the transaction will be done as an exchange of freeing one's computer until the ransom has been paid or demands have been fulfilled. Other than ransomware, there's also sextortion, which is coined from the phrase sexual extortion. It is the exploitation of private photos or nudes, images of the victims that they have previously shared on private social media or past lovers, as according to De La Serna, 2012. Child grooming. Cano, Fernandez, and Alani, 2014, framed online child grooming as a form of interaction that involves exchanging sexual messages and media on social media platforms between adults and minors. Child grooming is also a form of pedophilic activity, where predators would plan a certain modus operandi sexually targeting young children. Sexual grooming among underage girls is considered a form of child sexual abuse as it involves any sexual activity with a minor. Child grooming is a form of sexual offense, especially children, and was later recognized in the legal field of Malaysia. While the penal code is insufficient to protect the minors from the abuse, a new law was drafted in 2017, the Sexual Offences Against Children Act 2017, SOAC. Next, unwarranted sexual advances. It can be defined as unwelcoming sexual advances that are done directly or indirectly by sexual predators. Women commonly face it through social media, and it is shown how unwanted remarks from the public incessantly breach women. In addition, images of women's body parts are shared and exchanged in an illegal pornography group chat, becoming the receiving end of unsolicited photos of a man's genitalia, getting pursued on by men via private messages on social media even after saying no multiple times. These are just a mere example of unwarranted sexual advances that women had to go through in their life. Thankfully, women who became victims under this type of harassment are protected under Malaysia's Multimedia Act law in Section 211, where the wrongdoer may face a fine of 50,000 ringgit Malaysia or imprisonment not exceeding 1 year or both. Cyberstalking. Cyberstalking is an act of stalking or harassing an individual, group, or even an organization with the use of the internet as using social media, according to Spitzbergs and Hubler 2002. It is also a form of harassment such as monitoring, solicitation for sex, threat, or even gathering of private information regarding their victims. Cyberstalking can be a challenge to overcome because perpetrators are usually anonymous as they cyberstalk through many fake accounts. In many cases of cyberstalking, especially in Malaysia, the cyberstalkers conduct their online and offline activities as they are often controlled by their desire to repeatedly invade the people of their interest in knowing more about their private life. Unfortunately, there is no specific law that concerns cyberstalking in Malaysia. The only law that can be regulated in cyberstalking offences is Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998 about improper use of network facilities, according to Mohammed and Beg 2018. However, the act of cyberstalking here must include electronic harassment that is obscene or offensive. We have come up with a few suggestions that could potentially reduce the number of sexual misconducts that are happening in this country. The suggestions are: start educating sons from an early age and Improvements through the enforcement of legal rulings. Starts educating sons from an early age. Women are the majority of sexual harassment victims, and yet they're always the first to be blamed rather than the harassers themselves. Though this issue cannot be solved quickly, it can be solved slowly. Slowly but surely, by teaching sons the concept of respect towards girls and women, implementing sexual education at home, and educating kids on accountability of their actions. These implementations can definitely bring benefits in the long run. Rather than telling girls to cover up and be wary whenever they go out, boys should be well educated on respect and boundaries for women. Number 2. Legal rulings. Improvements in curbing sexual misconduct should be made through legal proceedings by using the Anti-Corruption Legal Foundation and reconstructing the fundamentals of gender-based violence. According to Carnegie in 2019, the Anti-Corruption Legal Foundation is legislation to avoid financial bribery or any transactions involving monetary value. However, the current framework of these anti-corruption bills does not explicitly address the other elements of corrupted exchange of favors such as sexual coercion or intercourse. Therefore, the first step to contend sexual misconduct is to reinterpret sexual coercion as part of the corruption that will propel the offender's punishments like that of a bribe. The reconstruction of gender-based violence laws. Under the legal proceedings of this law, one can be prosecuted with the act of crime if they were proven guilty, accompanied with adequate evidence. However, these laws do not consider that sexual assaults that happen in real life or online are being done in confidence and no witnesses, hence, could be mistaken as consensual actions. So, a new reporting mechanism should be adjusted to the gender-based violence laws in victims' favor when they decide to come forward and seek justice. In each analysis of sexual misconduct, we have uncovered the background and the status quo of each concern in Malaysia, which we collectively agree that these issues are yet to be widely addressed not only from a legal perspective, but also as a socially adapted value in society. Furthermore, everyone should feel safe everywhere they are, even in social media, and everyone deserves to access the benefits of the internet and social media without feeling threatened by the worrying trend of exploitation online.